Welcome back, my friends, to the Crypto Junkies channel. Today we are going to talk about Securities, Gensler, Securities Act of 1933, Howie test, and really just, I guess, dive deeper into this. Now, I've kind of covered this topic across two different channels. I covered it on my own personal channel, but let's bring it all over here because this is the crypto channel, and this is really the big fight that's going on right now. So I'm a little bit fasted, a little bit slow in the brain, but bear with me, and we're going to get through this. So let's start at the very beginning, right? What is the Howie test? The Howie test is really the old school, more, I guess you could say, barbaric way that the SEC and all these different three-letter agencies have to determine if something is a security or not. It's interesting to note how quick these definitions can change. If there's one point I want to make throughout this video is that the definition and interpretation of that definition is unfairly taken and changed and misrepresented time and time again. I'll give you a great example of this, and we'll cue up the clip here in just a second. But Gensler in 2018 said that 80% of DeFi was not a security. Fast forward to today, he says that all DeFi actors should come and check in with them and with the SEC and run it by them to see if it's okay. They just bullied and pressured Coinbase into dropping and completely abandoning its lending product that they were getting ready to release because they did give the SEC a heads up, and they got basically served a cease and desist. So I ask you, regardless of how you and I define the Howie test, regardless of how we read the words and the truth in the Securities Act of 1933, that really doesn't mean shit. And it doesn't mean that that's exactly how it's going to be interpreted or skewed or swayed by other parties. That is really my point. And when I bring these things up and I bring them up towards a specific project is I'm just talking through things. First off, I'm not a lawyer, no law degree, so you probably shouldn't listen to me on these legal technical terms. But all I'm saying is that it seems that words have additional meanings now, and so that's another part of the risk and a part of the game that needs to be looked at. We can't just sit back and say, well, it passes the Howie test because that's how we're interpreting the Howie test, when they could just come up and just say, yeah, well, now this means something different. And I'm going to prove that throughout this video, how they're changing words and changing definitions. And that is the point. That was my point that I've made throughout these past videos with regards to specific projects, especially towards Hex and things like that, is it really doesn't matter how you and I interpret this. It matters how they interpret it. So let's dive in. Okay, so let's get into the Howie test. And let's actually take it and apply it directly towards something I've brought up over and over again on this channel, and will continue to bring up, is Hex. So is there an investment of money? No, because how stablecoins are currently classed. Now, that is up for grabs right now, and I'll prove that in just a couple minutes. Bear with me. Is there a common enterprise? Well, in a lot of DeFis, there is a common pool. There's one pool that you put all your money into, and you actually have no clue what that pool does. And especially with these lending products, like, to be fair, is they were dynamic. The APR was dynamic, and they could change the APR whenever they wanted. You also had no idea how they were investing that money. That is the argument that a lot of people are making. Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Gensler, etc. A lot of these people are making up that as part of the argument, and I guess we could agree on that. You have no clue what they're doing, but then again, I have no clue what the banks are doing. I know that the banks can get unlimited leverage on my money up to 10 or 100 times, whatever it is now, who knows? And I have no clue. That's not published transparently. So, I mean, I guess we could take jabs at both sides of the financial system at this point. But common enterprise for a lot of DeFi, they fail this. With Hex specifically, no. Expectation of profit, no on Hex, because everyone from Richard Hart all the way on down the line says no. Do not expect profit from the work of others. Okay, there is no effort that I'm putting in. It's all based off of the code. Again, it passes these, maybe fails one, I guess, even if you're depending on how you're viewing this as it sits right now. But the issue is now they're coming back and trying to redefine what these things are. And even Gensler did a webinar today setting the path. I think it was called Setting a Clear Path for Cryptocurrencies. But what the summary of it is that he didn't set a clear path. He's not being crystal clear with his words. He's not being definitive. And this is my problem. And this is the bigger topic that we need to talk about, is the issue is that there's just a lot of legal jargon is layered with verb, pronoun, adverbs. They're layered with words that mean other words that could be defined 5 different ways. And when you do that, and you try and attempt to make that the truth out of every single statement that you're making, it allows for unlimited application of said legal precedents, bills, rules, laws, whatever, right? And that is the issue. That is actually the issue that I was bringing up before, and it's the issue that I'm bringing up right now. Is my issue is that people are going to attempt to redefine these words, and that's when trouble is going to be caused for the most legitimate of projects and the best of projects, right? And so this is one of those things that, and this is another reason why so many people are now starting to vote with their dollars and realizing that they have power because they've made a bunch of money in crypto. This is what we need to be doing and focused on. Okay, so again, how how many DeFi projects fail this Howie test alone? Now, let's bring up, for supporting evidence in terms of the definition, what Investopedia has to say. According to the SEC, the investment of money test is easily satisfied with the sale of digital assets because fiat money or other digital assets are being exchanged. Likewise, the common enterprise test is also easily met. In most cases, whether a digital asset qualifies as an investment contract largely turns on whether there is an expectation of profit to be derived from the efforts of others. So again, something like Hex completely passes this right now. Down the road, who knows? Yeah, okay, and they're referencing the Securities Act. So let's now look at the Securities Act. Here is the paragraph to focus on, the section to focus on. The term security means any note, stock, treasury, a treasury stock, a security future, a security-based swap, bond, debt, evidence of indebtedness, certificate of interest of or participation in any profit-sharing agreement, collateral trust certificate, pre-organization certificate or subscription, transferable share, investment contract, voting trust certificate, certificate of deposit for a security, fractional, undivided, interest in oil, gas, or other mineral rights, any put, call, straddle, option, or privilege on any security, certificate of deposit or group of index securities, including any interest therein or based on the value thereof, or any put, call, straddle, option, or privilege entered into on a national securities exchange relating to foreign currency, or in general, any interest or instrument commonly known as a security, or any certificate of interest or participation in temperate. Okay, you get it. Now, here's where I think they're gonna try and go with this. And here's where I'm, scared, essentially, is that they use the term security. Okay, so now we know that this is the term that they need to work at defining, right? Now what we gotta look for is, okay, how are they gonna try and redefine or conveniently slide stable coins into security, which then represent a different outcome within the Howie test to then be able to go and nail DeFi projects or any project they want, really. And this is what I'm looking for. This is where I'm looking for the trickery. Okay, so I hope you're following along so far. If not, just ask a question, yeah? Okay, so we've covered that. Now let's talk about some of the interesting wordplay. Here's the first one. This is from a detailed description. This has all gone down this month. Here we go. Wow. September 15th. Read this now. Read what they're trying to do. The other thing that some astute observers noted was Gensler's use of the term that literally has never been used before, stable value coins. Do you see there? That's their way in. So they are going to replace the word stable coins with stable value coins. And the only way I think that this piece is going to get resolved, because this is their way in, mind you, is that there's going to have to be lawsuits. And so I'm kind of disappointed that that Coinbase didn't decide to go lawsuit route and they just said, hey, we're going to back off, and they just got rid of the Lend product. Anyways, we're going to talk more about this, so just stick with me here. All right, so that's how they can change this, stable value coins. Now, I think the argument there would be the instability of a dollar that these things are pegged to due to events, just like they're trying to say, part of their argument was in the second paragraph is that Elizabeth Warren was trying to say, oh, I come in with, $500 into Coinbase and then I buy Solana and then the price tanks and I lost all my money. So we're the heroes, we're trying to help you, we're trying to save you from yourself kind of argument and juxtaposition. And so that doesn't really fly when kind of similar things can be said about the dollar. It's just they're better at hiding and lying, essentially. So anyways, tone is negative. Yeah, stable value funds. Okay, so here we go again. He's calling them, so somebody pointed out, more of the previous remarks, something else interesting. Instead of stable coins, he's calling them stable value coins. Stable value funds are SEC regulated. You see, that's the way in. So they want to rebrand with words. They're using linguistics once again against us. And I guess that was my bigger point. And maybe it fell on some deaf ears. Maybe people missed that point. Okay, so here's the part I was talking about with Elizabeth Warren's commentary. I'll give you a second to read that. Tuesday market goes down. The investor tries to get out of Coinbase, but their site's down and they can't. See, this is why you need regulation. Okay, and then she tries to bring up the same example on DeFi exchanges where they clearly point out their lack of understanding of gas fees and the fact that this is set in they attempted to claim that this is set in a user agreement, not in the code. This has nothing to do with gas prices. They didn't mention that at all. They said that this is a part of a user agreement. So you see they're trying to redefine and say, no, code doesn't exist here. That's not at play. It's a user agreement, because you are going to a website that has a user agreement. I don't think this would fly very well. This seems really ignorant of a position to take, but it's kind of what they're taking. So whether that's done on purpose or due to their true lack of understanding, I don't know. Okay, so there was those two pieces I wanted to show you. I think that's it. Okay, so this was the other interesting thing that I saw. This is completely absurd as well. Okay, Well, some of our friends from the infrastructure bill process showed up again. Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania blasted Gensler for not providing clear guidance. He said, I understand that SEC staff will privately provide feedback and analysis on whether a cryptocurrency is a security. Why keep this analysis private? Why not publicly announce what characteristics make a cryptocurrency a security? Thank you! Or not a security. Thank you, but I thought we had the Howie test. So everyone clinging onto the Howie test thinking that, no, my coin does not pass this. Understand that if they just change the meaning of words, then we're in the same boat, right? We're in the same boat. Why wait to make the SEC views known only when it swoops in with enforcement action? In some cases, years after the product was launched. And this is exactly what they're doing. So on one hand, they're saying, no, every DeFi project needs to come in and talk to us. Somebody else's analysis from, I think this was within the last 2 or 3 days that Gensler said, basically says all DeFi projects should pretty much come on in and talk to us. Give us a talk. Dox yourself in the process. Yeah, come on into our physical office. Sit on down. Make sure you bring your passport, right? I'm sure. So that's my issue there. Coinbase already did this, and they gave him the old nod and the old heads up. Hey, we're going to launch this lending program. They said, no, don't do it. And they basically served him with a cease and desist anyways. And Celsius is going through this. BlockFi is going through this as well with their lending programs. Texas, New Jersey, and several other states are all trying to serve up cease and desist. So it's utter chaos right now. And everyone just keeps going back to like, oh, I guess Gensler's, he means business. They're also trying to stretch and be granted the power to have more say over crypto, which I think is very strange, and it proves that they don't actually have this power yet, but they're still asking for it. Here's the most recent commentary from the 22nd. It's today. Doubled down on his position, robust authority to regulate cryptocurrency industry, stating conversation with the Washington Post. I did a webinar with Bloomberg as well. Discussed stablecoins, which have become a growing area of concern among federal regulators. He told Washington Post, SEC is currently putting together a report about stablecoins under the guidance of Janet Yellen. So it's like Yellen is pointing to her lapdogs, telling these people what to go do and what to go say. And I'll got proof of this in just a second. He also said the SEC is working with banking regulators in order to get expanded authority from Congress to regulate stablecoins. So they don't even have the power to do this right now. So for everyone thinking this is already a done deal and there's nothing you can do about it, there always is something you can do about it. They are looking to get expanded authority from Congress to regulate stablecoins, which we already saw he wants to rebrand the naming of stablecoins to stable value coins to conveniently fit under the umbrella of what they can regulate. I think you're getting that point now. I've made it now pretty crystal clear. Those platforms should come in and we should figure out how to register. What are you talking about, dude? Coinbase just did this, and you slammed their dick in the door. So no, nobody should go in and do this. And yes, they should keep waiting, and we should be fighting this with our dollars, and we should be fighting this with billboards plastered all over the United States and everywhere else that we possibly can, outing people that are against cryptocurrency. Because what we need is the community itself. It's a $2 trillion market cap. Like, why are you making rules for me, bro? Like, the market cap is $2 trillion. We're good. We got our own funding now, right? That's what I thought. So this is more, again, about like a banding of arms together. Can't get too lost in the weeds, like, arguing over semantics when we're all going towards the same big picture. Okay, I mean, he doesn't even know. What did he call him? Nakamoto-san. That's who he calls Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin. So there you go. That's all you need to know right there. So nothing else here. Pretty much a nothing burger. Got some tweets here. Let me go back through my tweets. Brian Armstrong originally calling out the sketchy behavior on September 8th, that full thread. We'll give you that. Here's Jess Powell, co-creator of Kraken, basically saying, hey, here's what happens. And again, this is what they do. Bad people make rules to keep good people down. Bad people can keep making rules. Bad people can stay in power. It's that simple. And the bad actors are like, it's all the banks. It's all the banks that don't want this to change yet. I don't know how much you've been enjoying your 0.0025 APY, but I mean, get fucked, dude. With hyperinflation right now, there's literally nothing else that you can do with your money. Okay, if true, this is pretty underhanded. I know it's easy for me to say this, but Coinbase should go ahead and launch its product. Let the SEC sue and go to court. I agree, but they didn't. So this is already happening. Shout out to Ryan. He runs Masai. And side note on Masai is they held their 2021 conference just the other day, and the SEC showed up and served a DeFi project, rather, with a cease and desist. And he confirmed this. And basically what he said is, now I'm going to run. Now I'm going to run for office, because you pushed me over the edge and you pissed me off. And Ryan's got a big following. I mean, they've got a great product. Masari Crypto is a great product. It's like a news aggregator, information aggregator, data aggregator, and they're great. So I don't know if he's funding this directly or he's just rooting it on, but yeah, there are a lot of these going up all over the country now. Good. let's start to speak with our dollars, right? I'm sick of feeling like we have to apologize for our early stage and walk on eggshells around politicians and regulators. We built a $2 trillion financial market from scratch in less than a decade with absolutely no institutional help and active incumbencies from government. He's even dogging on it. Give you 0.025 APY. I don't even think that's average. I think that's pretty high, actually. I think it's lower than that. Here we are. Like, it's time to take that stand. I think that's it. I think that's all I had for you. But yeah, hopefully now, like, and if I'm fundamentally misunderstanding something about the Howie test or about how to decipher this, etc., then comment below. We're gonna actually do a live stream, I think, in the next 24 hours, which will be great. So we're gonna start live streaming on this channel as well. You can look out for that. I'm excited for where this is all gonna go. We need more voices asking more questions, but more importantly, collaborating together and making this change forward. So it's really great to see so many people coming out, because I think a lot of people are starting to notice, like, we got no choice. Comment below, like the video, share it with your friends, dislike the video, whatever you want to do. Subscribe if you're brand new here, and hit the bell notification, turn it to all. Be on the lookout, more videos coming soon.